When you find a real estate platform that aligns everyone in the entire company financially by making us real estate agents owners, so when the average agent wins, everyone wins, that's the secret to success. And when you surround yourself with like-minded entrepreneurial people who absolutely love what they do, they love serving people, they love God and life, and you put yourself in an environment of high energy, high producing, positive people every day, you can't help but succeed in business and life. We are changing the real estate industry and changing real estate agents' lives. Welcome to the Financial Freedom Forever podcast.
Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to the Financial Freedom Forever podcast. Today, for my special guest, I'm my business partner, Michelle Ellis, from Kimbleford, Ontario, Canada. Welcome, Michelle.
Hello. How are you?
Fantastic. Excited to talk to you today. For our listeners out there, Michelle was a top producing real estate agent at her previous company, and she was happy where she was, but she's going to tell us her story of what had her take a look at eXp 2 years ago. It'll be 2 years coming up here in a couple of weeks. So excited to kind of hear her story and to share what she's done because in that last couple of years, she has grew her income by 3 times and 10 extra business. So we're really excited to hear your story, Michelle. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Andre. I'm so excited to be on. Excuse me. So basically, I had been a realtor for 6.5 years. That's the time that I spent at my first brokerage. I guess maybe I should back up to that because so getting into real estate was a little bit difficult even for myself. And I always plug this in because if there's ever single moms or single dads out there that are struggling, like if I can do it, so can you. So anyway, single mom, broke, $47 to my name and no credit cards or anything like that. So I was blessed to have a broker offer to pay for my courses. And she basically said, I can pay her back when I sell my first few houses. So that was a godsend for me. She was able to essentially transform my entire life through one act of kindness. So I started with Exit Realty in 2014, and I was with them until 2021. I was very happy where I was. It was a very family-oriented, family-owned brokerage, and I was content. I was happy. I thought I was in the right spot, and there was no straying from that. I was having some disagreements, I'll say, with my brokerage or my broker about some of the brokerage stuff at the time. And so my business coach had mentioned, he said, Michelle, is this a forever place for you, or have you been open to looking at other opportunities? And I was like, no way. I'll be a lifer here. There's no way I'm leaving. It's the best model out there. And he says, that's fair, but do you truly know, have you ever looked? And I was like, well, of course I haven't looked. I'm happy where I am. So why would I? And he's like, so then how do you know that you're in the best place? And I was like, okay, fair enough. Maybe I don't. So he had mentioned eXp, and I, immediately I was like, okay, I've heard of it. I know a girl that I went to high school with, that's with eXp, but there is not a single agent in my town or even really surrounding, that's with eXp. So that was a red flag at first for me. And, so I picked up the phone and I called Michelle Kennelly, who is also an eXp. And I had a quick conversation. Well, I shouldn't say quick conversation. It wasn't really quick. It was like an hour and a bit. We were both in the car. So so we chatted for quite a while. And, I was like, well, this kind of sounds too good to be true. Obviously, there's something that you're not telling me. Is there somebody else that I could talk to? And she's like, oh, yeah, for sure. So she put me in touch with Pierre. And then I watched Brent Gove do his presentation, and I thought, okay. So I listened to that presentation in my car that day. And I remember driving around going like, okay, this sounds like, I don't know what I'm missing. Like, what am I missing? So then I went home and I watched it, and I still felt the same way, because I was like, this sounds like amazing. What, like, how do I not know about this? And
because you weren't
so
looking.
anyway, so with
Right?
that,
It's because you weren't looking, you weren't looking. You're happy. You're just busy working, selling houses, and being one of the top producers in the company. And days go by, and you don't know what you don't know, right?
You don't know what you don't know. So then he wasn't my husband at the time. So my fiance at the time, I said to him, would you maybe just take a look at this video for me? And he's like, what is it? And I was like, it's a video on another real estate brokerage. And he's like, why on earth would you even consider moving? Like, look what you've built. Why? Like, I'm not interested in watching it because I think it's a bad move. So then we had some words, and I was able to coerce him to sit down and watch the video, because I said, look, I value your opinion, and I know that you can see through all the BS. If there is BS, you'll be able to tell me, like, this is what you're missing here. And so we both sat down on the couch and watched the video, and he, like, afterwards, he just kind of looked at me and was like, is this for real? And I was like, that's what I'm trying to get you to, like, am I missing something, or is it as good as it sounds? And so he is like a YouTube king. So he can find any information on anything, doesn't even matter. He'll figure it out, right? So I said, okay, so here, I'll give you 24 hours to find the dirt and to find me a reason not to. And if you can't find me a reason, then it's very highly likely that I am going to make this transition. And so that night, I ordered my custom license plates, because I had already made up my mind. I had already mentally made up my mind, because I just knew, like, there was a gut feeling in me where I was like, man, this is just, I've got to do this. Like, it was such a strong, like, you need to do this. I can't even explain it. So, so within, I think it was less than 2 weeks, I completely transitioned. So I'd been at Exit for 6.5 years, and now I'm with eXp, and I have almost been here for 2 years, which is crazy, crazy.
So what were the top 2 or 3 things in that video that you couldn't believe that was true, that really compelled you to dig deeper and do your due diligence?
So, again, I didn't really do due diligence. I was just like, this is a for sure thing. I just have to do this. But what really stuck out for me was the revenue share. I had a basic understanding of revenue share because Exit has a single level residual model. But this model is 7 levels deep. And I was like, wow, that's really impressive. Like, this compensation model goes so much further than just your front line. And then the second thing was the cap, because I didn't even know what a cap was. And I really had to, like, wrap it around my mind for whatever reason, because I'd been so ignorant to, the other brokerages around me. I had no idea what a cap was. And I was like, what? That means that they stopped taking money from you? I was like, what? I'm paying like over $100,000 a year to my brokerage, and you're telling me I can cut that and only pay $16,000? Like,
wow.
I was just like, whew, holy cow, this is crazy. So I guess those would be my 2 driving motivators for it, because let's be honest, a lot of people are not working to not make money. So we're able to live a better life when we're making more money. And I would rather see the money selfishly go into my own pocket rather than my brokers.
Well, if you were paying $100,000 or more to your brokerage, yeah, that's an $84,000 reason to, what can you do with $84,000 extra dollars? Put it back into your business, pay off some of your mortgage, put your kids through college. I mean, that's that's a big deal. And that's just for 1 year, right?
Yeah. So the first year, I actually calculated it. The first year that I was with eXp, I saved myself $122,000.
Wow. That's
So
amazing.
it's almost unfathomable, because like you get so complacent and so happy where you are that you almost become into this euphoric state of mind where you're just like, I'm in the best place, I love everybody around me, and that's all great and fun. But at the end of the day, when you look at the numbers in front of you and you realize how much of an opportunity eXp is compared to other opportunities, it's like, holy cow, sign me up.
Yeah, when you don't have a cap, I know a lot of like Remax companies, they're at a 95-5 split. So it's like I only pay 5%, but there's no cap. So especially if you're a good producer and and the more years you're in real estate, your business normally continues to go up because of your experience and from referrals, et cetera. That just continues adding and adding up. So 6 years at your current company, you've grown from nothing to building being one of the top agents at your company. So that's why you're paying, so much. Andy here just commented, wow, that's a lot of money to pay for your broker. And that's absolutely right. That is a lot of money, because you're a producer and you didn't have a cap. So that's a big deal. Congratulations.
And I think too, like some people just don't realize as well, like even though it may only be a 95-5 split, if you have several years of selling ahead of you, that all adds up. So whether it's 5%, for the next 5 years or 5% over the next 10, 20 years, do the math. That is significant. Like that is significant, and that is your hard, well-earned money.
Yeah, that's awesome. So tell us what are some of the things that you did differently, or what do you contribute to, tripling your income in the last 2 years and 10xing your business? And yeah, if anyone has any questions for Michelle, please put them in the comment section here so we can just ask her, and definitely share our podcast on your social media channels and give Michelle some love here. But yeah. Tell us about that.
So, I mean, I didn't invest in coaching or anything until year 3 of real estate, like with exit. And I realized very quickly how impactful in a positive way that, that coaching can be. And so, I stuck with that for quite a while and saw huge improvements. And then, once coming over here to eXp, I mean, I felt as though I had everything I needed. I knew everything I needed to know, but I mean, that's kind of a closed mindset. There's so many people so generously giving away all their golden nuggets with eXp that, you take one tiny little idea and it can blow up and completely transform your business. So there's been a couple of those golden nuggets that I've taken and put in my back pocket, and have been very thankful to have had the opportunity to get that, because like I said, yes, I tripled my business, and I feel as though just what I've learned and the people that I am constantly around, the camaraderie, all that stuff is just, it's 10x to my life. And not just from a financial standpoint, from a mental grounding, life as a whole. And what I can't even believe that Glenn is focused on having the healthiest real estates in the industry. Like, I'm pretty sure no other real estate broker has ever said that, or cared about their agents' health. Like, that's not their priority. They just want them to sell houses, right? So it's something that I think is phenomenal. So because of eXpCon, so I've had a Peloton bike since the beginning of 2021 and had been on it twice. And after our eXp Con this year, I have gotten on the bike, I would say almost every day. Since then, I've obviously had days off, but it really like struck me, and I was like, you know what? I really need to start taking my health seriously, because like I'm 33 years old. Like my children, are 11 and 3. I need to be a good role model. I need to be healthy for them. I need to be healthy for me. And when you're healthy on a physical side of things, it really helps mentally too, because then you're not always you're not in confrontation with yourself all the time about, I know I should be exercising, but I'm not, and all those things. So the fact that we're just part of a company that is so wholesome and so 360 is really amazing. I would never have been introduced to Viome. I would have never been introduced to the Whoop. I do the Whoop and the Fitbit. Like there's just so many things that I've been introduced to that have been life-changing, and not just on a real estate level.
Yeah, when you surround yourself with other like-minded people that have a vested interest in seeing you win, it makes a huge difference, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, the amount of support, like yourself and, Pierre and everybody have been so generous with their time, so generous to, take as much time as I need to answer any questions that I have. And I mean, I'm going to be starting a team in the near future, so I might have to hop on a call with you and be like, okay, Andre, like, do you know what I need to avoid or not avoid? Because I've never had a team before. So I know that it would just be a matter of picking up the phone or reaching out to the Honey Badger Nation and saying, hey, who has, advice for me? And I know for sure that I'd have an unlimited amount of people to choose from to help me.
Why do you think it's so different? I mean, you were very happy at the other company. You said it was an awesome company, an awesome broker that even took a chance on you, helped you, get your license. Obviously, it was a close knit bunch. Why do you think it's so different at eXp?
I think for me personally, I see where the company is going. I see the growth. I see the future of the company, and I want to be part of something that is future focused. And eXp is future focused. They have the best technologies, the best CRMs, the best of everything. And Glenn is investing his time, his energy, not to mention not just Glenn, but Glenn and his team. Right. I mean, they're very heavily invested in our success. And obviously yourself and all the other people above me as well are all invested in my success. And I love the fact that we are all aligned financially. And I think that's another thing that helps, because when you're in a different brokerage, it seems as though you don't ever want to share your secrets. You never ever do, right? But at eXp, we're all sharing our secrets. I was just on the phone with Mike. Oh shoot, I'm gonna forget his last name, but he's part of the Honey Badger Nation. He'll be on my podcast next week, or I'll be on his podcast next week, and then he'll be on mine in the coming weeks. Mike Price, I think. Anyways, but like I could just be connected to so many people in so many places, and I love it. I forget where I was going with that, but I love it.
Yeah, I think it's like the golden nuggets. I mean, when you're financially aligned, even if the people are not in your personal network, because you, me, Mike, and everybody in the entire company are all owners of the company. Mm-hmm. We all have stock ownership in the company for just selling houses, right, and helping the company grow. Yep. That when I help somebody across the state or across the country like we are, and it helps the company grow by selling more houses, building teams, whatever it might be, we all benefit, because as the company grows, it's not just a broker owner or a franchise owner that's getting wealthy. It's us agents because of all the ownership. And I think that's a big, huge deal that a lot of people just, don't
disregard.
Yeah.
So actually, I should back up, because now that you've mentioned that, I mean, I haven't had my headspace in the past for a while, but that actually was one of my driving factors too, was ownership. Because if I were to do anything at the old brokerage, I wanted to get into ownership. And the regional owner was like, yeah, you probably won't be able to afford it, and all the regions around you are already owned, so you're going to have to go outside of your area of where you would normally work, and it's going to cost you probably $100,000 or more. And here I am, I can have my own organization. I don't even need to go get my broker's license. Not that I'm saying it's a bad thing to get, but that's fine. But I don't have to go get my broker's license, and I have my own company, and I didn't have to pay franchise fees. I didn't have to get, a location. Being cloud-based was very scary for me because I wasn't 100% sure, how I was going to transition, because I am that type of person who, goes to work every day and was at the office every day. So for me, I was a little bit scared about how that would pan out, but it's been wonderful. I even, when I first joined eXp for the first year, I did go and get an office, because I was like, I don't know how I can transition to no office. And it'll be a year, I think, in March or April since I've let my office go. And I mean, it's just so much smarter. That's why they went cloud-based. They want to reduce the cost of overhead and reduce all those costs. So, I mean, I would love to have a building at some point in my career and have a beautiful space, but something that's more of a commercial investment for me rather than to look at it as as an expense. So ownership was huge for me. And the fact that we're growing on a global level, that also in itself is very attractive to me. I am a little travel bug. I want to travel, and if I can connect with agents all across the globe, I think we're now in 23 or 24 countries. So the fact that I could change lives in different countries is very exciting to me.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, when I got plugged in, well, it'll be almost 4 years ago, we were only in 48 states, I think, and 3 provinces of Canada and 3 other countries. And now we're in all 50 states, 9 provinces of Canada, and like you said, 23 or 24 or 5 countries. And no place that they're not looking to grow. Everything is open. And I know, Michael Valdez, the president there of Global, is doing some wonderful things and growing, expanding quite rapidly. I hear that they, in the next 10 years, they hope to be in 100 countries.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah. A couple of questions from Andy and people on our podcast asking a couple of questions. It says, what exactly did Michelle do or change to increase her business 3 times? He wants a couple of those golden nuggets. Okay,
so basically I committed to coaching. I got into the Honey Badger Nation offers a ton of free coaching, and they introduced Coach Michael Burt. And he is a phenomenal coach. I have had the pleasure of learning with him on several different occasions. So that is one thing that, helped sort of start that transformation. And then just the training and stuff that's available is transformative in the sense of and having the mentorship. So I am a person, I'm a sponge, I'm a lifelong student. I love learning. I love learning new things. So for me, I would be off on 76 different training programs and coaching programs and all that kind of stuff. But you realize over time that you just need to master one thing. And then once you've mastered that, then you can go on to the next thing. So I really focused on mastering Trello. So Trello, Andre and I have talked about Trello and done Trello things, and Trello, the system and the processes that I have set up in Trello are basically a foolproof system for me. And I feel that's a huge value add too, to any agents who are thinking about, joining my organization. Is I've got this process and these systems that I've worked on for close to a decade now that they're always evolving and they're always changing, obviously, as necessary, but it's something that I can offer them. And I think that agents see the value and I don't know what the word is, how genuine I am about really wanting to help my agents succeed and grow, because that's something that I'm super passionate about, and was just certified as a success coach too. So it's really opening up my my perspective on, what I want to do in life. And it's just, I'm overwhelmed with all this stuff that I have available to me to grow into. So what I've basically been doing is just honing in on one specific thing and mastering it, and then going on to the next thing and mastering it. So if I have any advice to you, is just focus on what you want to get better at, and until you're a master. And then once you're a master, go on to the next thing. You really need to focus on a couple things at a time, no more than 5. Even 5 is too much.
Yeah, that's great advice. I mean, the Trello system has been fantastic for me as well. With all the checklists, keeps everything organized. You can have all these different groups in there of your prospects, and you can do personal things as well. So it really keeps you organized, so you can just get more done, right? And keep track of everything. Yeah. Things don't fall through the cracks for your business, for personal, and so on.
I feel like without Google Calendar and without Trello, I would not be able to run my business. Those are my 2 staples.
Yeah, systems and processes is important to have when you're trying to run any business, and when those systems can be just given to you, that somebody else usually builds, right, and just passes on to you, because we want to help everyone in our organization grow. So yeah, I've offered our Trello system for free to anyone in an entire group. So it's been pretty helpful to me as well.
Yeah.
Andy had another question. It says, where do you meet your clients if you don't have an office to go to?
I usually meet them in their comfort zone, which is their house. So, I mean, if we're going to be doing business with them, you want to meet them where they're comfortable and where you can gain trust. And I mean, if they're selling their house, you're going to have to go there eventually anyways. And I mean, worst case scenario, if they do not feel comfortable meeting with you, you could always meet with them. I know there's Regis offices, I think in Toronto, but there's none like super close to me. But I mean, you can meet them at Starbucks. I've met tons of people at Starbucks, treat them to coffee, and have a conversation. And really, I mean, in the 6.5 years that I was at Exit, it would be less than a handful of times that clients met me at the office, probably 3 or 4. And I've done hundreds of deals.
Nowadays, I mean, most people want you to go to them, you know, or meet them somewhere close to the house that you're showing them, so they don't have to drive across town to your office location. Everything has changed over the last, even the last 5 years, but the last 30 years that I've been, selling real estate, everything has just really changed. And if you don't change with what's going around you, you're gonna be left in the dark, right? And you're not gonna have the opportunities that you would have if you're not open-minded to adapt to what's going around you, right?
For sure, yeah. And I mean, I've met people over Zoom as well. A lot of people with COVID and what's happened with that. I mean, people realize that you can get a lot done from the computer, and you can have great conversations, virtually face-to-face with people. Not as good, in my opinion, as belly-to-belly face-to-face, but it's the next best thing, right? There's no way I'd be able to come and have coffee or lunch with you on a regular basis, Andre, but I can hop on a call with you as often as I need to, and it's the second best thing, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And time is money, right? I mean, you can get your work done and accomplish your goals in minutes without traveling, without the expense, without the time. And it's just a new way of doing business.
The amount of money I have saved with not having an office or being with the other brokerage and paying for that, and the amount of gas going back and forth to the office when you really don't need to. I mean, I understand that some people may not have space for, an office space, but if you have somewhere, you have a table and a computer, you can certainly makeshift an office space at your home. It doesn't have to be professional. I'm literally in my unfinished basement right now. So, I mean, you can make anything work.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I really, I'm just proud of you, Michelle, for being able to, 3 times your income and 10x your life just by making it's a big shift to make a change, but once it's behind you, which normally is pretty quickly, the opportunities are endless. I mean, now you just mentioned you're a certified success coach, so share a little bit about that. What does that mean to you, and what is that going to mean to help build your team and anyone who wants to partner up with you?
So really, my motivation for joining Success Coaching was to be able to add another asset, add another asset essentially to, the agents on my team, being able to give them access to high level coaching. And, it wasn't just like a day course. Like this was I think it's over 5 days and 8 hours or 12 hours a day. Like it's not like just this weekend course. So the techniques that you learn and there's just so much to coaching. And whether I'm using it on helping agents in my organization, whether I'm using it on myself, I've found myself now using it with my family, which is not a bad thing, right? Like you approach life in such a different manner when you learn different techniques about how to communicate with different people, and to be very conscious of your reactions and how you're communicating and your body language and all that stuff. So it was just very interesting to me, and I really wanted to get that training so that I had that to offer my agents, to help them as much as I could, because at the end of the day, for me personally, I get more joy out of being a tiny little reason for success for somebody, whether they're successful in buying a house or selling a house. That makes me happy. But for me, what makes my heart sing is basically helping agents, go from 0 to 100. You know what I mean? Like it makes me so happy to be able to help them realize what they're capable of and then see them achieve that.
Yeah, you're literally changing people's lives one person at a time.
Yep.
This is a big deal. Someone's asking, what city and marketplace do you cover?
So I cover from Coburg to essentially Tyendinaga, Napanee. I grew up in Napanee, so I go that far east if somebody is really interested in going there. But it's a pretty broad spectrum. I mean, I go up to Highway 7 and then I go down to the county. We do have agents coming on to our organization regularly, and I'm trying to, capture the best of the best in each area so that, I can really hone in on making sure that there's an excellent agent in every area locally to me.
Yeah, that's awesome. Really be able to take care of all your buyers and sellers and your referrals that much better. Where do you see your business in the next 5 years, Michelle?
It gives me goosebumps just thinking about it, because I know amazing things are coming, and I just think that I'm mentally preparing myself for it, because I know it, it doesn't happen overnight. but I know I'm going to have an organization of over 100 at some point in the near future. I will have, you know, a good, successful coaching business where I'm not inundated with coaching clients, but just enough to fill my cup a little bit more, knowing that I'm helping, you know, more people. But yeah, just really I'm focused on helping people change their lives. So any number of people that I can help, I'm happy with.
Do you think that if you would have just stayed comfortable being a top agent and not making a move, that you would have these kind of opportunities would have arose either way?
Not a chance. I would not even, like, I'm not even the same person. Like, I'm a totally different person in such a better way that just, I see life differently. I look at things differently. I'm the biggest advocate of being an open-minded person at this point. Like, I don't want to say no to anything, because you just never know. Because I look back and the only regret I have with eXp is, you know, not being open-minded sooner, right? So there's so much opportunity in this world, and there's so much amazing things available to you that you can't be afraid to just take it and go.
If there is one last piece of advice that you like to give to anyone listening today, maybe someone that was like yourself, single mom or single dad, you know, maybe before getting into real estate, you know, you were really struggling. What would that be?
I can't really put it into one thing, but what I can say is have faith, know that you can friggin' do it. Like I said earlier, if I can do it, you can definitely do it. You just want it. You just need to want it bad enough. You're capable, you're doable. If you have to read any type of affirmations are a life changer for me. So I'm a huge advocate of affirmations. But the other thing that I would highly suggest as a realtor is you need to be authentic. You cannot pretend to be somebody that you're not. People will smell it from a mile away. Just because you think that people aren't going to like who you are. The thing is if you're authentically you're going to attract the people that know that you are being you. And number one, it's going to be a great relationship, because you don't have to pretend, and they don't have to pretend, and they don't have to guess, you know, what agent they're getting one day from the next. And two, you're going to feel so much better knowing that you can just be you. And like I said, you're going to attract the people that you work well with. So when you're working with people that you want to work with, and that are like you, and that, you know, understand you or whatever, that's 100 times better than dealing with clients who are not your type. And that's one great thing about this business is you get to choose who you work with. So if you're not into, for me, like I don't have the suit and high heels attire. That's not me. And so if I come into contact with a client who's very, very high class, and maybe I feel as though that they expect me to act a certain way or dress a certain way, I won't. Like, I would refer it to somebody who's a better fit, because there's no point in putting yourself through that. Just be authentic.
That's awesome. I appreciate that. Now I know you said that you're going to be starting to build, you know, your own personal team soon. But I also know that you have, you know, an eXp organization that has already started. And I remember you telling me before that you didn't reach out to anyone. You didn't want to be that person that was, you know, calling to recruit other agents.
Yeah, no.
But I know you have, you know, what, 8, 9 people or more on your eXp organization. And if you never called them, how did that happen?
They called me. Yeah, it's been very organic in that sense. I believe that you attract people who want something that you have. And I think what I have that they are attracted to is optimism and energy and excitement. And I'm not afraid to take risks. So I think that, you know, as a top producer where I was, I think that actually opens people's eyes to, wow, she's willing to take that risk. Like, you know, there must be something good about the company, right? So I think that, yeah, I just think that I organically have, you know, attracted people that are like-minded to myself and want the same things. We just want to be successful. We want to help everybody. Like, we want to help each other, and we want to all see each other succeed, right?
Yeah, that's absolutely right. I know a lot of people, you know, they think eXp, you have to, you know, recruit because, you know, that's what just, you know, people hear. And you're totally opposite. You got plugged in because, number one, of saving, you know, over $120,000 in the first year. Think about that times 10 years or 20 years in the business,
Right.
what that can do for your life. And having access to the free coaching and training and mentorship and surrounding yourself with other like-minded people. But the just like you said, being authentic, being yourself and being authentic, you attracted agents that wanted to come and join you and your global team at eXp organically. And now you're earning, you know, revenue share, not from the company, from the agents, but from the company thanking you for helping the company grow.
Exactly.
That's
And I
amazing.
mean, I have a stock account that's got more money in it than I've been able to save. So in 2 years, I have more money in that stock account than I have been able to save my whole life.
Wow.
So that number one, it says that I'm a bad saver, but number two, it just, you know, it gives you opportunities to, you know, do things that you wouldn't normally be able to do.
Yeah, that says a lot. And being a top producer, I know you hit what they call the Icon Agent Award your first year, and very close to hitting that again
Yes.
this year. What does that mean to you? I mean, you were a top producer selling at the other company. What did you get there when you sold a certain amount of properties, and what did you get at eXp, and what does that mean to your family?
So I have a cardboard box over there that's got a bunch of glass plaques. But then I have this glass plaque that is beautiful, but it also came with a $16,000 reward. So for me, Icon has been amazing because when you look at the financial, you know, the financial reward that comes with it for doing what you're doing, like, you know what I mean? Like, this is your job. You're supposed to sell houses, and they're, you know, so gracious to have this program. It's amazing because even if I hadn't, you know, been interested in revenue share or anything like that, simply just selling houses, I was still going to make more money here than I was there. Right. So they're a very generous company who understands, you know, what we do, what we go through. And the Icon program is definitely, I mean, it takes somebody doing it full time should hit Icon no problem. Right. So it's an easy $16,000.
And that's year after year after year as well. So that
Right.
that can really add up, and that's over on top of the money that you've saved. It's an ownership of the company. So congratulations, Michelle. I'm just excited about seeing you continue to grow your business and what it's going to mean for your kids and your financial future. So it's been a blessing to have you on our part of our eXp team, and it's pretty awesome. I never even knew you before, right? And you're,
I know.
you know,
It's amazing. You guys are like family to me. It's just such a different culture. I love it so much. I feel so blessed.
Oh, it looks like we got, let's see, one more question. What I find to be really ironic is that most top agents have teams and actively recruit other agents in their teams, but then few agents, say eXp agents, only recruit agents, not sell houses. And so, yeah, he's just saying the same thing is, you know, people think that it's all about, you know, agent recruitment, but it's very little. Only I think it's about 12% of all the agents in the company actually do any traction, try to recruit agents. 88% of the company are all about just selling more houses, taking the access to the opportunities of the health, the health insurance and a lot of the other things that we talked about. So,
well, the thing is too, is this company is such a customizable platform. It can be whatever you want it to be. If you want to recruit agents, you can recruit agents. If you want to sell houses, you can sell houses. If you want the whole package, that's amazing. You can do it all. That's what I love so much about this, is you can just go in so many different directions and the sky is the limit.
It's awesome. I really enjoyed our conversation today. Thanks, Andy and Bill, Robert, Mary, all the other people that were on our Zoom today. If there's anyone out there interested in learning more about eXp, give Michelle a call. Her phone number's right there. We're a global company, so it doesn't matter where you're located. We can basically help you. And my last question I always ask Michelle, if you love reading books, what's your all-time favorite book you like to recommend, or if you're a movie watcher, what was the best movie that you'd like to recommend?
I'm definitely not a movie watcher, but I am definitely a book hoarder. Building an Empire by what's his name? Brian Carruthers. That's a recent one that has been pretty impactful for me. I wouldn't say that I have a favorite book. I mean, I have so many. I've got like 150 books in my Audible. The Compound Effect, Building an Empire. I actually just read the Celestine Prophecy. Have you read that?
No.
I hadn't even heard of it, but it was pretty phenomenal. But yeah, no, I've always got a handful of books on the go, and I can't say any of them are my favorite because I learned something amazing usually from all of them.
Well, a closed mind is the most expensive thing that you could ever own. So congratulations for being open-minded from the very beginning, and look what it's done to not only change your life, but the lives of a lot of people that you've been in contact with. So thanks again for being on our Financial Freedom Forever podcast today, Michelle. Really appreciate you. I'm looking forward to seeing you at our next live event. And you have an awesome week.
Awesome. Thanks, Andre.
All right. Take care. Bye-bye.
Listen to what our business partners are saying about our FFF group.
What I love most about our group, the alignment, the fact that I am aligned with some of the top producers in the world and can pick their brain any second of the day has been absolutely incredible for my business and has taken it to the next level. And I have to account it to alignment.
My favorite thing about the FFF group is just being surrounded by people with the same mentality as us that are striving for something better and building a better long-term plan for themselves.
My favorite part is the support. I can't tell you how many top producers have just kind of dropped what they're doing and supported us in a big way when we've had any kind of curveballs or compliance issues or any kind of new experience. Everyone within our group is just willing to give, and that's probably the best part about our Financial Freedom Group.
I believe if you surround yourself with like-minded people that are doing 10 to 15, 20 times more than me and you put together, we all bring each other up and bring our businesses to the next level and our lives. To learn more about how to partner with us, go to partnerwithandre.com or click the link below, and let's have a conversation.